Tommy Turbo Treasures. In this episode we've got all sorts. We've got Roman, we've got Saxon, we've got milled, we've got hammered, we've got all the goodies. But I want to clear a few things up. Like I said in the last video, there'll be a new intro, but as you can see that didn't materialise. And I said I had a new camera, which I do. I have the Canon 80D. This camera is absolutely amazing, but it arrived after I started shooting this video, and because the way I am, I didn't want mixed quality footage. So anyway, enough of me babbling on, let's get into some detecting. We're going to clear a couple of clips up here. I was just finishing off one of my private permissions, so the next couple of clips is just me on pasture on a private permission, and I was just finishing it off, making sure I got every target, but there was one last silver waiting, so roll VT on that. Getting a beautiful crisp signal here, that's well worthy of a live dig. 1244, 1244, saying only 4 inches, but when I rotate it goes to 1245, and the depth readout's going to 5 inch. We'll do a live dig on that. Lovely crisp signal that. Right, live dig. Right, live dig. A nice coin ball here. I happen to use my father's spare pinpointer because my other one's knackered, so it's just a penny. Get George III, by the looks of it. I could have swore that was silver, like, give all the telltale signs, but coin like, but never mind. George III. Right, I'll just hit a 1244 there with a beast. Hang on a minute. Just see the edge of it there, sticking out. See that? See the milled edge? 1244, I would imagine that would be still in, like. Oh, hey, I know. Oh, I've just seen Queen Victoria. Hang on a minute, hang on a minute. I'll get a zoom in on this camera. Jesus, bad camera work indeed. See that? Queen Victoria. Hang on, we'll get it out. Oh, hey. It's a Queen Victoria young head shilling. It's one on my list. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give that a little tiny quick clean in the field, and then we'll jump cut. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Well, that to me looks absolutely beautiful, in very fine condition. Absolutely stupendous. I've been after a Vicky young head shilling for a long time. I've just bagged a beautiful one. 1877. Look at the head on that. That's absolutely superb. I can tell just by looking at it, it's going to clean up absolutely lovely. 1244, what a signal. Right, get in there, little beauty. I'll show you that all cleaned up, shining like a good one. Now that we've whet our appetites with a nice Vicky shilling and a little bit of a live dig there, we're going to head up to my friend's permission now, up in Northumberland on ancient land. Some nice items came up here. So the following footage is from my friend's permission in Northumberland. Roll VT. Right, it looks like I've just had a hammer there.
Right, that's what it is, Tommy lad, it's cut off.
It's cut off?
That's...
You're going to reveal it for us?
Aye, let's have a look.
Have a look, I haven't even had a look myself.
Look.
This is definitely
I'm
silver,
not
isn't
rub
it?
it too much, like, but...
That's my first ever cut off, that. Just shows
that's
I'm doing.
That's what it is, aye. It looks like a Henry III.
Henry III, is it?
I think, or it could be a King John.
So that's earlier than what kind of age is that then?
1199, I think. It's a short cross, aye.
Voided
There's a chance it could be King John, then,
Aye.
Holding sceptre. It's amazing, isn't it? They used to actually cut them in half to make half pennies.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go, good start. Good start. You'll be pleased with that then, bud.
Alright,
There you go.
I'll get a close up for the tubers. Oh, I'm dropping it. There, you got yours on you.
Alright,
I'll show you Gary's. We both had hammered today. Gary got a Edward II. I'm going to put it next to mine.
Wait, see the first or second?
That's his, but look at the writing on Gary's. Look at that. That is crisp. That's one of the crispest hammers I've ever seen. Flip it over. Superb, that. The writing on that's absolutely
see it there,
amazing.
It says Civitas means city of.
Right.
And then you turn it and so you got city of Civitas. And then it says Cantor, Cantor, which is Canterbury. So that coin was minted in Canterbury and lost in Northumberland.
So this one's later.
Had a canny journey on it. Eh?
Oh, aye, it's a canny bloody journey. It's been down there hundreds of years, they both have.
Well, Edward I, 1272 to 1307. And then there was Edward II, in case it make it. You see, it's always difficult to see whether it's an Edward I or second, you know, but I'm thinking Edward I.
That's lovely coin, that, like. Well, we've both had hammered today. Both had hammered. That's what it's all about. Yours is better than mine, like, but I'm happy with the cut off.
It's only one signal. Makes all the difference.
That's superb. Right, I'll show you this all cleaned up. My cut off. Right, let's crack on. Spindle wall, another one. It has got patination on, but I don't know if you can see it there. See the pallets and lines. It's a little bit worn, like. Spindle wall nevertheless, and coppered hammered with a Scottish bobby. Somebody said that these weren't hammered coins on my last video. I can't remember the name of his channel, like. Scottish lad. Some of these are hammered and some of them are machine pressed. But this one here is a definite hammered. It's off struck. You wouldn't get that on a machine press. He raised the question, like, some of them were machine pressed and some of them aren't hammered. So he highlighted that, like, which was interesting. I looked into it, but some of the Charles I are hammered. And this is an example of it, which is perfect. Like, it's about 1600s, early 1600s. Shame it's not made of silver, like, but I'm in the right place. Right, let's crack on. Well, it's not hammered, but it looks silver to me. Let's see that there. Came in about, what was it, 12.30. It was low 30s, so I'm thinking this might be 50%. I'm thinking, just see the edge of it. What I love about detecting is when you get a coin like that, You just see the edge of it. All the possibilities start running through your mind. What could it be? What era? What monarch? That's the best bit about detecting, right there. Let's have a look. I think it's George VI, like, because the signal wasn't that great. Who's that? Ah, it's George V. Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie. That's alright, like. Silver, you know. Silver, 1936. 50%er, George V. I get just as much thrill out of finding that as I do a hammered or anything else. The excitement's still there, as strong as ever. Just love the buzz of it. I'm a buzz finder, I love the buzz, get a kick out of it. So I'll bag and tag him, put him with the others. Nice that, like. Even the sun's shining, eh? Hey, let's crack on. Well, I was on a test here with the Vista Smart, of which I'm a little bit head scratching at the minute because it's quite an erratic machine and needs a little bit more stabilisation in my opinion. But came along here, as you can see, I put the spade in the ground there and I thought, hang on a minute, I can see something on the top. I've just knelt down and just got it cut off. And it's a Scottish one, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah.
I'll just get a...
I'll get a good look at it just now, Tommy, and it's definitely Scottish because it's got the stars on the reverse, the split cross.
The stars are the Scottish symbolisation of their coinage, is it? Rather than the pallets.
Usually just have the stars and that on the back, on the reverse.
Who do you think that is, Henry?
I'll have to have a look, mate. Could be
I'm guessing...
Alexander, could be...
Because he's got the scepter.
David, could be David II, could be Alexander.
Could it not be Henry? Or the different kings up there?
No, Scottish one.
It wouldn't...
I'll have a look, mate.
He's holding the scepter, isn't he?
Could be Robert the Bruce out.
Could be anything.
I'll have a look just now, mate, I think.
Right, so we'll let my mate have a look at that and then we'll see if we can come up with any kind of ID. It's a nice big cut off, but it's one of them cut offs that you don't want to find because it's in mint nick.
It's a cut off and it's a hell of a, probably a real coin.
And it's in lovely nick like that, you go, oh shit, I wish that was full. But it's better to have half than nothing, that's what I say, like. So, we'll let me mate have a look and then we'll jump to it. There's another quick look at it before the before I clean it. Got a strap end, have you? But my mate was thinking it's Alexander II, possibly. But we need the boot, like, because it's one of them. I was just thinking, yeah, what was I thinking? Henry's, but obviously it's Scottish, so it can't be. So I've never found a Scottish one as of yet, so that's my first. Very pleased with that. It's quite big for a cut off, right? So I'll show you that cleaned up, and I'll jump cut. Lovely jump. Now is I want to split this next series of club digs into two separate sections. One with the CTX and one with the XP Deus. So I'll show you all the footage of all the finds I found with the CTX first, and then after that we'll go to the Deus and we'll split them into two separate detectors because I'm using two different detectors. Here's me on club digs with the CTX Roll VT. Well, I don't think I can be any more impressed with that 17-inch coil in the CTX than I am. I'm a little bit gutted here, to be honest with you. There's a hammer over there. I'll just put a zoom up. You'll see why I'm gutted in a minute. It's not very nice, like. It's a lovely condition hammered penny, but it's been snapped. Obviously the plough smashed it. Like, I've looked at the brake. The brake's quite an aged brake. I'm going to check the rest of the clod, see if I can find the rest of it. Like, I doubt it'll be spread all over the field, all the little bits. I'm a bit disappointed in that. Like, gutted. But the hammers are hammered anyway, so I'm grateful for that anyway. I'll show you that all cleaned up. Like, I used to use the Deus every day, but even this coil with a 17-inch coil, this machine with a 17-inch, you just think it wouldn't be possible, like. But it is. Oh, it is. I've just got this after that other one. I've been pretty disheartened, to be honest with you, because I've been walking across the field thinking about that hammer that was smashed. And it's such a lovely hammer with a lovely portrait. And I think this is just about to tear us up. This looks smaller than a penny. It does, it looks smaller than a penny. What was this? 11.15, I think. And that smash one, for anybody with a CTX who's interested, it came in at 12.06. So really low. Oh, my hand's shaking. Oh, I love it. I love it. You get such a buzz out of this. It's unreal. Well, I'm going to get my little toothbrush out and I'm going to be nice and delicate with that. So we'll jump cut and I'll show you another field shot. I'll tell you what, like, you can see that, it's Elizabeth. I don't know if it's a farthing or a halfpence. Could be a halfpence rather than a quarter-pence, which is a farthing. You can see her face there. It's in beautiful nick, that. It's got a bend in it, but it's beautifully detailed. Absolutely beautiful. And if you just look there, look at the shield on the back. There's no date, so it's not a threepence. Could be a halfpence, that, halfpenny. Halfpenny. But it's in beautiful nick. Absolutely stunning. Stunning. I'll show you that all cleaned up. And a little clip to follow. We're very pleased with that. 12.15. Bang, bang, bang. CTX loves it. 17-inch girl. Get in there. Right, let's crack on. Medieval buckle thing there. As you can see, it's got a lovely pattern on it, lovely patina, lovely bottle green. I'm thinking it's medieval, it might be later, earlier even. I'll have to ask my mates on that one, like. Quite crude. Very nice. Right, let's crack on. Well, just got a bit of a shock there. I haven't had much today. I've just gotten that medieval buckle which you'll have just seen. And I've just pulled this plug out here. I've already cleaned it up, it's sitting on there. But I got a bit of a shock like when I seen it. You make it out there, it's a Roman. It's quite a large Roman actually. Don't think it's large enough for a Deus. I don't know what you would call that actually. There's a Deus and what's the other? Cistercius are the largest ones. I can't think what that is. The head side's nice patina. Actually I got a zoom on that so you can see it better. I'll get my act sorted out. Just see his head there I think. See him? The reverse is there but it's a little bit scabby. But the details there, like, so a little bit of wax and a further clean might bring it out a bit further. I'm pleased with that, like, it's better than note. Right, let's crack on. Well, down there, I've got a 1208, but it was only about 3 inches deep with a CTX. I'm just getting it hammered. I'll just put a zoom on this so I can have a good look at this. It's pretty worn, like, pretty small and pretty knackered. The back's not bad, you can see the pallets on the back. The bus side's not very clever. It's off struck and it's worn at the same time. I don't know if you can make the king's head out. But we'll have a closer look at that anyway, cleaned up. Still nice to get like, even though it's a bit knackered. Right, let's crack on. It's got a 1238 and that hole there is about 5-6 inches deep on the CTX. 1238, 1239, and then when I seen it in the mud I thought it was a 5p piece. Hang on, I got to zoom. And then I've just had a close look at it. I think it may be an Indian silver because it's got the Gothic flooring on, the Gothic style head of Queen Victoria. I haven't even had a proper look at it yet, like. Looks like it has been a pendant because there's something on the top. To Anna's India, 1895. So there's an Indian silver with a Gothic flooring style head, of which used to be a pendant. Looking at it, a little bit below, next to my thumb, you can see where it was. I'll show you that all cleaned up. I'm very happy with that. Anything with a Gothic flooring on is nice. Right, let's crack on. There we go, some nice finds there with the CTX 3030. If anybody was interested, I didn't see it. I was using Tadpole 4 and Ghost 4 and Auto Plus 3. If you're not a CTX user, you won't know what the hell I've just said. But if you are a CTX user, you'll know what I mean. Anyway, these next series of clips is me on Club Digs using the XP Deus, the good old Deus, which is a cherry picking machine in my opinion. But when it comes to fluffy light soil, the CTX with the FPS technology and the 26 different frequencies, they get air pockets in the soil. CTX and the type of technology struggles a little bit. So I've been reverting to the XP Deus for doing freshly ploughed fields. Plus I wanted to get back on the Deus and just, you know, keep your hand in with it, because it is a great detector and it's been somewhat neglected since I bought the CTX. But I was running Deus Fast, which has the best target separation of all the standard programs on the XP Deus, slightly modified. So we'll roll VT on the XP Deus and all the finds are made with it on Club Digs. So roll VT. Well, just been out with the Deus for about 10 minutes and just hit silver straight away. It looks to be like a William III love token, bent. It's my third one of them, like, I think. Nicely, because I've had a bit of a dry spell with silver. there and just make it top of his head. Saying it may be William III, but it could be somebody else. It could be another early milled. So I don't know for certain. Like. Very nice. I'll show you that all cleaned up and we'll crack on. Struck me very first with the Deus, 11-inch coil on the end. I've got a little tiny hammered, give us 72. It's not a cut off, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's a cut off, but it's not, it's a fully intact hammered, it's just bent in half. Now the writing on this looks a little bit unusual to me. I'm no expert on hammered like, but it definitely looks a little bit unusual, the writing. It doesn't look like the usual style of writing on the hammered coins. Now that's bent like that. I've never straightened a hammered, but I might ask my friend to straighten this one for us, just out of curiosity, and see if we can get any. There's plenty of detail on it, it's just bent over. Right, we'll show you that all cleaned up, and if I get it straightened, you'll see it straightened. But 72 on the Deus, bang bang bang, Deus fast. Get in there. Right, let's crack on. This fines tin, there's a fines tin I got from the car boot sale. I paid £60 for it, and I've dated it with the hallmarks back to, I think it was 1913. Anyway, in my fines pouch, which I keep around my neck in a little bag thing, I got a Roman just before, but it's a knackered one, so I didn't film it. But we can see Victory standing, or a figure. See the figure there. Clean up better with a bit of wax, but that was ringing in like 89 on the Deus, that, and Deus fast, which is unusually high, like, unless it's silver under there, which I very much doubt. But anyway, I'm not that bothered about that. Knackered Roman. This is what I'm bothered about. There, can you see that? Just got this 70, oh what was it? It was 70s, in the 70s. It looks like a hammered, but it looks like the edge of it's broke, unfortunately. I'm going to reveal this one together. Hang on a minute, get out the bloody wind. Right, there we go. First time it's been revealed in centuries. Oh, I can feel a bit of a... I'm going to have to be careful here because it's frayed at the edge. See that? See, it's frayed where it's been battered. I bet you that's only been battered in the last couple of years or something. Oh, it would have been nice. And oh, look at it. Look at the pallet on the back. Shit. Clean up with a toothbrush, will be back in 2 ticks. I've noticed this, like, sometimes you get hammers and when you rub them, the silver's so pure, it just comes up beautiful. I'll just give it a little rub with my thumb. I don't know who that is, probably an Edward, but it's got a lovely bust. Hey, what a crying shame the top left hand corner's been bashed. What a crying shame, that would have been in good nick. This is a half groat, I would suspect, given the size of it. I would definitely say that was a half groat. The most common, I don't know, I think that's the wrong way to word it, but I would say that may be an Edward or a Henry. I can see the writing around the side, but I can't make it out because I'm blind as a bat and I haven't got my glasses, so... Whoever it is, he's welcome. He's going to go in my little fine still with a Roman. That's the first 2 hours, 1 Roman, 1 hammered. Get up there. Alright. Back on the Deus. I'm missing the CTX, but the old Deus is doing us proud today. Right, let's crack on. brooch there, or the remnants of one. It's quite decorative actually, it's quite ornate. I found a few of these before, but I haven't filmed them like because they've been pretty rotten and knackered, but this one's got a nice patina. What's that, you just got a jetting?
Just as you shouted as I'm turning, I'm getting a jetting.
We'll go and see me mate, he's got a jetting, and he'll probably be able to tell us a bit more about this because I'm not as knowledgeable as him. So we'll just jump. So this is a Roman fibula trumpet brooch.
Right, so Roman trumpet brooch, what's left of it?
The end's missing.
Aye, I mean the pin would have went across there, catch plate on this side. This is basically representing the trumpet in the middle. Two bits joining.
Would I have a fantail down here initially?
No, I would have just had a catch plate, like a bit like a safety pin, and the pin would have been attached to a loop that's underneath there. You can just see the remnants of the loop there. Usually just an iron pin, which obviously corroded away, and a catch plate on the side of there. You're talking about 3rd century.
So it's about 1700 years old?
3rd century AD, aye.
So he's some of Spartacus's finds, look.
So
he's had today.
Bits here today. That's Roman silver, but it's a base one, so it's a little bit later. Maybe it's 260 AD.
Basically means it's got a lower quantity of silver.
Aye, lower grade of silver in there. We're getting our cellar medieval, silver penny.
Nice that, we don't know what's the king
Could
again?
be King, wait, they're all say Henry, but this one could be King John or King Henry III.
It's nice, like.
But it's a short cross.
It's crisp and all.
Again, I'll need the books to find out, but we're talking late 1100s.
2 bronzes in a jetting.
Early 1200s, you know.
I think you're doing better than me today, like, but only just.
And
you're just getting a German jetting.
Hans Kronwinkel jetting.
Is it Nuremberg or something?
Aye.
Aye.
I think they're around the 1500s, I think, and that's another Roman bronze coin there.
Spartacus,
Roman bronze coin.
He normally just outdoes us every time he comes out because it's quite annoying. Like, you know.
Get together, Tommy, like come on, son. Keep at it.
It's a hard job keeping up with you. Well, I don't know if the light's doing that any justice, but that's absolutely immaculate. I don't know if it's a fake spade guinea or a token, because they did make tokens very similar to this. I don't know if it's a fake or what. Could be a fake, like, judging by the edge. Oh, and then again it could just be a gaming token. It's hard to say. I'll have to have a closer look at it. If I find out what it is, I'll put it in the subtitle for you. But look at that. Look at the detail on that. That's bloody amazing, that. Absolutely amazing. If it is a token, I like that because I like my tokens. Like, I think they're a nice thing. They're very unusual. Beautiful, that. Very pleased to get that. Right, let's crack on. Well, hopefully you can see that. See a Roman head there, facing left. Not sure what kind of helmet he's got. It's quite a smallish coin. I got this earlier this morning. I got this Roman this morning. I didn't film it because everybody was like kind of just starting off and everybody was looking would be on top of us, so I decided to film it later on. I haven't really had much all day apart from this, and then I'm just getting some now, and if what I think I'm getting now is what I think it is, it's bloody amazing. Like, I'm going to show you that there now. But anyway, there's the Roman. It's a 2,000-year-old coin. And if you look at this, I've just got an enamelled brooch of some description. It's got blue and yellow enamels in the middle. I'm not sure what kind of picture it's trying to depict or what the pattern is of. But if you look at each little bauble, it's blue, yellow, all the way around. And on the back, catch is still there. I'm not sure, but given the area where I'm at, and there's Roman and medieval stuff coming off, and all sorts of stuff. I don't know if that's Georgian costume jewellery or if it's older. So I'll have to catch up with my mate Spartacus. If it's older than Georgian, and if it's a period piece, which I'm thinking, we'll jump cut now and I'll get Gary on the go and see what he makes of it. So, it's interesting anyway, it's certainly interesting. It's all fully intact, even the little pin's still there. Could be medieval, I'm thinking, but it could be older, like. So I'll have to see my mate and see what he thinks. I've just found out there, for lads, they reckon that's a Viking brooch, that you always saying?
Saxon Viking.
Saxon Viking.
Closenoi?
Where is it? I can't see it. They put a bit of water on it there to get the enamels. Apparently it's got a crucifix on, hasn't it, Gary?
I see. Cross, enamel, the colours and each part of the arm of the cross.
I knew it was old, but I didn't know, you know, I didn't, I've already filmed it up there, I didn't want to say, oh, it's...
Somebody's back phone thing there now.
No, it's just off there.
His camera.
So, Saxon Viking. So roughly what age would you say that was, Gary? Just roughly?
800, 900 AD.
800, 900 AD.
Aye.
Right. So it's
Maybe
old.
it's 9.
It's fully intact.
900.
It's a beauty, isn't it?
Pins. Gotta be careful with that pin.
What pin?
Right, I'll show you that all cleaned up. And a little VT that'll follow.
That's probably your best find, Tommy, I think.
Yeah, it's just amazing, isn't it? You just
Good job
along.
you got the Deus out in it.
Aye. Leave the seat at the exit open.
I'm going to have to put my hands up and admit that I've made a mistake. And the mistake I've made is I didn't film some very important finds that I made. One Saxon indefinitely, the other item has a key to the Saxon history but is Roman in the same token. I didn't know what this Saxon item was, which I'm going to show you in a second. That's why I didn't film it. The Roman stroke Saxon find kind of threw us a bit because it had a hole in it, which kind of threw us a bit, so I didn't film that neither. But I want to add these into the video because the Saxon decorative pyramid mount that I found is quite a significant find, and it's not that easy to find Saxon things, so I wanted to record it within the video. Although I don't have any footage from the field, I'll show you them items close up now for your viewing pleasure and to see what I'm talking about. So we'll jump cut to that and we'll roll VT and I'll give you a nice close up and we'll talk about it. So here we go, guys. Here's the Saxon decorative pyramid mount. Can't even say it. There's a symbol of a snake on this side that you can see there, and on this side there's a different kind of symbol, but I'm not quite sure what that is of. It's debased silver, which it's made of, and you can clearly see that it's been gold gilded. There's a good place you can see where it's been gold gilded there. On this item there would have been a bar that went across the back. I don't know if you can see that. You can see where it's snapped there, but it would have went right across. So the inside would have been hollow and there would have been a bar going right across. Obviously it's been smashed by the plough at some point. Some point in time it's been smashed. But I want to show you a little picture on my phone of what this would have looked like in situ, actually on the sheath of an Anglo-Saxon's sword. The sheath is something that the sword goes into. Obviously it's the holder for the sword, and the Anglo-Saxons used to decorate the outer sheath of the sword. That's what they did, and they decorated it with items such as this. Somebody of high status perhaps would have had this, and only people of great warriors and such like would have had decorative items like this embroidered on the outside of the sword sheath. So I'll show you a little picture on my phone here of exactly what I mean about this and where this would be located on an Anglo-Saxon sword. Now you can see there on my phone, this item there is photographed on the bottom. That's what I discovered. Now on the sheath on the outside of an Anglo-Saxon sword, these decorative pyramid mounts would have been mounted here and here. This is a replica sword, but this is what it would have looked like. pulled this picture off the internet. There's two other different kind of spherical mounts, but the two pyramid mounts, very identifiable, very noticeable, just particularly by the style of it, and that's what I found. With the serpent, picture of the serpent and a different picture on the other side. Obviously mine doesn't look anything as good as that. That'll have been somebody of higher status who would have had something as ornate and as well made as something like that. What I've found is a different kind of, maybe somebody of a lower status, but it's still a decorative Saxon pyramid mount. Right, we'll move on to the other item that I feel to film. Now this is a bit of an unusual find. If you look at this, you see the remnants of a bust there? There's nothing on the other side. But what this is a Roman coin, which I've been reliably informed by very knowledgeable detectives who have been detecting for 40 years or so. This has been holed by hand by an Anglo-Saxon person. You can just about make out the bust there, the Roman emperor's head. And probably string, I would imagine, would have been thread through there, and it would have been worn round the neck by an Anglo-Saxon person. So that's Roman stroke Saxon. Has a link to the Saxon period because of the way it's been holed and worn as a decorative item. I'm guessing somebody of a peasant kind of status would have worn something like that back in them days. But anyway, interesting find, interesting relic. So there we have it, guys, a decorative Saxon pyramid mount and a holed Roman coin, which would have been held by an Anglo-Saxon person, worn as a pendant around the neck. I did find a Roman brooch as well, but I can't find that, and it was pretty knackered anyway. But I'm pleased that I've intervened in the video and added them in because I wanted to record them, because this channel is a diary of my metal detecting, so I felt it was important to add them in. We're going to have a close look at the Saxon brooch now, and I just wanted to have a little talk close up while looking at the Saxon brooch, because it is an amazing discovery. As far as relics are concerned, me personally, that Saxon brooch, disc brooch, is probably the best relic that I've ever found, and it probably will remain the best relic that I'll have ever found for a long time. They're quite rare, they're not very common. Well, anything Saxons isn't common, but to get an enamelled brooch like that in as good a condition as that is pretty amazing. And that brooch has still got its pin after 1,000 years. 1,000 years and that brooch has still got its pin in the back, which is absolutely amazing. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable when you think of that. When you think of the idea that that little pin stayed on the back of there for 1,000 years. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely amazing. But we'll have a close look up at that, and we'll have a little talk about it, and we'll roll VT on that. The question I ask, what kind of person of what status used to wear a brooch like that? What kind of Anglo-Saxon had high enough status to have something as ornate and as intricate as that made for themselves? It makes you think. It certainly makes you think about our history in England, the Anglo-Saxons. enjoyed the video. It's been a long time since I put a video out, but I had a 3 to 4 months break from metal detecting in between the end of last season and the start of the new season. I felt like I needed a little break. Hopefully the next video won't take as long to put out, but all your comments welcome, whether they're negative or good or whatever you want to write. You feel free, you write it. Thumbs up or thumbs down, all interactions welcome. And until the next time, happy hunting to you all, and good luck and all the best.
¿Por qué bombas? ¿Por qué bombas? ¿Por qué bombas? ¿Por qué no diálogo? Hay sitio para todos. ¿Por qué desesperas? ¿Por qué no disfrutas? La vida puede ser maravillosa. ¿Por qué destrozas? ¿Por qué no proteges? Este mundo es tuyo. ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué bombas? ¿Por qué bombas? ¿Por qué no diálogo? ¿Por qué no disfrutas? ¿Por qué no proteges?